With Halloween fever in full swing, a little cold weather couldn't hold back the fun as the Parks and Rec Department held their Sterling Frights Halloween Festival at Dodge Park. In Sterling Heights tradition, there was no lack of great music, donuts and cider, and clever costumes all around as everyone enjoyed this fun fall festival. Special guest Pikachu, Elmo, and Olaf from Frozen were also in attendance that morning and left many families with lasting memories. There were plenty of activities and events this year. Many of the guests took advantage of the tractor rides as well as many of the multiple games set up for the kids. The festival did not disappoint this year. Longtime attendees of the event had a blast and wish everyone a happy holiday.
Well, this is Peter and Pam Van Ice from Sterling Heights, Michigan. We love this city, and Kyle does a great job, and happy Halloween to everyone. Have a great time.
On a recent edition of Sterling Report, we told you how the SHPD is handling opiate abuse. Now county leaders are focusing on how to handle the opiate epidemic. City leaders from across Macomb County, members of the county government, and law enforcement communities gathered at Velocity to implement Operation RX. The event, sponsored by Macro, is designed to bring awareness and develop solutions to this growing problem. Judge Linda Davis is spearheading the campaign, and we spoke to her.
Because this is a community problem and it's not going away, it's getting bigger. And we're losing a multitude of people to overdose and addiction, and it can be stopped. But we're not doing enough to educate on the forefront to make sure that our kids are educated and they don't ever get started. And it's just really important that we address this as a community problem because it affects the entire community. We look at addiction as being a single person disease, but really it's a family disease. So when an addict is affected, everybody that's tied to that addict is affected as well. And it's overwhelming because there's so little help for these people. So we need to do better at getting help and making families feel like they can come forward and not be judged.
One of the solutions brought up by the law enforcement community was the implementation of Narcan and prescription drug disposal. After the presentation, Sterling Heights Television spoke to many of the leaders in attendance, and here's what they had to say on the matter.
Yeah, it's a problem that's an epidemic that really affects everybody. It affects everybody regardless of race, regardless of economic status. So we as a community need to come together and find a solution to it. Our residents are demanding that we take action, and so today's the first step for the leaders here in Macomb County to do something to reverse this terrible trend.
You know, we're learning daily that this is becoming a prevalent problem throughout our community. And I think education probably will help us the most as we educate first at a young age as to the addiction problem. But interesting enough today that I found out that this isn't just a young person's problem, that in some cases it's for our seniors too that are on different types of medication and don't realize how addictive that they are. So I think that this needs to be something that we move forward with as far as educating the community. I certainly would like to see us have some kind of workshop so that we can bring some of the representatives that were here today to teach us, because the only way we're going to really solve or make a dent in this problem is if we educate ourselves, and that has to do whether it be at the government level on things that we're control of, but also the medical issues, the hospitals, the police departments. You know, we all have to work together, and I think if we all work together, that we, you know, could easily find a way to curtail some of what's going on right now.
Well, opiate abuse and heroin abuse is an epidemic. I mean, it's affecting families all across Sterling Heights, and it's affecting all walks of life. It doesn't matter if you have a high-income household, a low-income household, high education rate, low education rate. It affects everybody, and you know, we're not doing a great job at it. You know, first step in identifying a crisis is accepting that you're not doing as good of a job as you could do, and that's our first step, is identifying that we've got a long way to go, identifying, number one, that it's a problem, and then, you know, strategically look at ways that we can apply resources and provide leadership to get the help to the people that need it the most.
I think, number one, we've been seeing too many deaths, and the deaths increasing with a number of people dying of drug abuse. And a lot of that has been coming from the opiate prescription medications and also heroin. So really we want to work with our partners across the different sectors, from businesses to faith-based communities, other municipalities, schools, in getting the word out that, number one, we need to get people into treatment. Treatment works. And that we need to get people educated that this is a problem that can be rectified by getting, like I said, people into treatment, getting more youth educated, and again, we want to avoid these unnecessary deaths that are plaguing our country, our county here, because we are seeing an epidemic here with heroin deaths. We want to address that here in Macomb County.
CARE of Southeastern Michigan is committed to Operation RX. We really believe that in order to address the opioid abuse epidemic in our community, we need to work collaboratively with a variety of community partners, ranging from FAN, the health department, Henry Ford, local law enforcement, school districts. Not one of us can address this issue alone. We really need to work together to be able to create a strong difference in our community.
Over the last several years, especially in the last couple, we've seen a huge spike in the amount of runs that we're going to with regards to overdoses with the opiates. I think there's lots of causes. The prescription drugs are being overprescribed as far as I'm concerned, and there's a lot more access to it in the public. But additionally, I think that, I'll be honest with you, I think with the legalization for the most part of marijuana has given a green light to people to move forward, and not only do I believe it's a gateway drug, but I believe that it gives people the feeling that legalized drugs are fine, and that's why we're having this epidemic with prescription drugs that lead to heroin use when they can't get the scripts anymore. And I think it's a true problem. My officers are almost on a daily basis, if not a daily basis, responding to these overdoses in our houses, and we need to address in a multi-level approach. And I think it's
The City of Sterling Heights likes to say thank you to those that make Sterling Heights a great place to live, work, and play. The volunteers. Well over 450 people were in attendance at this year's appreciation dinner at Penna's. After the meal, 18 special volunteers were honored for their years of service. One special volunteer honored for his 46 years working every election since 1970 in the city, John Gardner. Awards were also given to Volunteer of the Year, Dino Spatafor. Local Development Finance Authority won Commission of the Year. And finally, Commissioner of the Year was Jeannie Shabath for her work on the Arts Commission. Volunteers weren't the only people honored, as city employees were honored for their years of service, and awards were given to Dave White as DPW Employee of the Year. Scott Anderson was Command Officer of the Year. Police Officer of the Year was Detective Natalie Abram and Officer Kevin DeRoy. Police Civilian of the Year was Brian DeMink. Lieutenant Vincent Schwartz was Firefighter of the Year. Captain Dave Brantley was awarded the Fire Medal of Valor. Graphic designer Diane Rogowski won Part-Time Employee of the Year. SHTV alum and current IT Senior Systems Analyst Ken Patterson won Employee of the Year. And City Development Director Denise Gerstenberg was awarded Administrator of the Year. City leadership believes the appreciation dinner gives them an opportunity to thank all of the hardworking city employees and volunteers for what they do throughout the year.
Well, you know, Sterling Heights is so well known for its services provided to residents and businesses. Everything from parks and recreation to the library to community relations and finance and snow plowing, refuse collection. Of course, police and fire is the centerpiece of all that we do. So to help us do all that, it obviously takes all of our great employees, and tonight's an opportunity to thank them for the good work they do day in and day out. But it's not just our employees, it's also our volunteers. We have hundreds of volunteers that help us provide our services. So tonight's an opportunity to really thank them as well. Without all of their help, Sterling Heights wouldn't have the great reputation it has, and our residents and businesses wouldn't be as happy as they are with the services we provide.
Well, I've always said that volunteerism and the people in our city hall, our police officers, our firefighters, our dedicated public servants are what makes this city great. And over my shoulder, there's hundreds of people who are going to be honored and recognized tonight, and without them, we wouldn't have the great city that we have. So it's important to recognize them, recognize the great work that they do.
When we have this volunteer appreciation dinner, it's just a very, very small way of saying to the people that volunteer to the city, we appreciate what you do for us. 99% of these are non-paid positions, and they give up their time. They give up the fact that they could be with their families in the evenings, but they come to these meetings just to help the city along. We couldn't afford to pay all these people if we had to hire them. So we appreciate everything they do for us. And again, as I say, it's just a small thing to say to them, thank you so much for your help in the city.
This dinner is extremely important to Sterling Heights. This is our opportunity to say thank you to our employees and our volunteers, people that have given of their time to serve their city and the residents in the city, whether it be working at the library or working with Parks and Rec, whatever the case may be. This is our chance to say, good job, thank you very much, and we hope that you continue your service to your community.
You know, we are blessed to have so many people in the community that come forward and give us their time and their talent to take on a position in a commission that actually it's a volunteer position. So I have to give them a lot of credit because they come sometimes with experience, and other times they come with just the attitude that they want to learn about what we do. So either way, it works out for us. And it's a way of keeping people involved. It's a way of them going out into the community and being ambassadors for us. So it really is important to recognize them once a year. Certainly we'd like to do it more often, but I'm glad that they're here tonight. And certainly it's just our way of saying thank you for all of the time that they give us to make our city as great as it is.
Well, our city wouldn't function as good as it does without the volunteers that we have. I'm very happy to be here tonight to celebrate their service to our city.
Cart to Cart, with sponsorship by the Sterling Heights Rotary, recently presented the Sterling Heights Alcohol Reduction Program, or Get Sharp, at the indoor go-kart racetrack. Each year, the Sterling Heights Police and Fire Departments, along with a host of representatives from a variety of other law enforcement agencies, join select area high school students at Cart to Cart to share in a safe and controlled environment the hands-on experience of impaired and distracted driving. The goal of the program is to leave students with a new perspective on the responsibility they take on each time they get behind the wheel, and to send them back to their schools as ambassadors of positive peer pressure.
Definitely do not want to be driving like that. It's very dangerous.
With the program now more than a decade old, Lieutenant Aaron Burgess talks about why he accepted the offer by Cart to Cart owner Tony Eckrich to use his facility to host the program.
I truly care about my community. I truly care about our residents. And as a DARE officer, I had an opportunity to watch these kids grow up from kindergarten and teach them in the 4th, 5th, 6th grades into high school. And then when I went into the Traffic Bureau and we started investigating crashes and we started seeing the results of people that have made poor decisions, whether they're texting and driving, they're distracted, or they're drinking, or they're high on some drug, I don't want to see any of that happen to our residents or visitors to our city. So this program to me is extremely important to get an education out to our residents, to the motorists, to the drivers in our community, because I don't want to have to go knock on that mom and dad's door and let them know that their child isn't coming home.
During the program's early years, the focus was on drunk driving, but as the years passed and technology has advanced, the dangers and distractions available to new drivers have grown.
One of the things that we started to find was the message that the Mothers Against Drunk Driving and a couple of other groups had finally started to get out there. We started to see a reduction in drinking and driving crashes. But what we started to see is a huge increase in distracted driving type crashes. When we started looking at our rear end crashes, our angle crashes, the classic T-bone, My traffic investigators are very smart. They can look at a car and by the evidence know what happened. We know how the crash happened. What we don't often take the time to ask is why did it happen? And when we talked to the state police and they did a study with their troopers, what they found was that over 60% of all rear end and side angle crashes were because of distracted driving.
For many students, the day began with an opportunity to put on a pair of drunk goggles and test basic capabilities like catching a ball or walking a straight line. They were then given the chance to ride in a cart with the goggles on and were tested with a variety of obstacles and distractions. With plenty of giggles, this served as a lighthearted way to get the message across. Afterwards, they had a classroom-style discussion, concluding with a talk by Officer Cleveland of the Ferndale Police Department. He shared his own personal tragedy with students, giving them a moment-by-moment account of what it was like to see his 3-year-old daughter, Olivia, be killed by an impaired driver. He went on to explain what it had been like to carry on in the years since his daughter's passing. The impact of his talk weighed heavily on the students, who would carry it back with them to their schools and hopefully help their classmates to make the right decisions the next time they get behind the wheel. Silver Linings Counseling opened earlier this year in Sterling Heights and recently held their ribbon cutting. With 7 therapists on site, Silver Linings is suited to handle cases of all ages and types, especially geriatric counseling, adolescents, children 6 and up, couples counseling and Christian counseling, depression, anxiety, and LGBTQ.
It was a dream of ours, finding our silver lining, and the name and title is appropriate because through this experience, us coming together at another practice, we found our dream come true and we found our silver linings. And we also try to help our clients find the same in their lives, whatever that may be.
The Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Mayor Taylor were on hand for the ribbon cutting, welcoming Silver Linings Counseling to our city.
We chose to be in this area because of all of the other communities that we can connect with. So at this point, we're on the border of Sterling Heights and Troy, and we serve all the surrounding communities. We're close to M59, so it's easily accessible, and we love the city of Sterling Heights. We're very pleased to be here today.
Well, yeah, this is a brand new business that's been here for a few months now, and they had really a whole range of cities to choose from, but they chose Sterling Heights, so we welcome them to the community. Happy to have them here.
Silver Linings Counseling is a spacious facility with multiple rooms for their patients, with different decor in each room. For more information on Silver Linings Counseling, you can reach them at 586-580-2975.
When someone first comes in for an intake, we let them know that there's no judgment here, that we are kind, caring, and compassionate, that their welfare is our first goal, and wherever they want to go, if they want to grow, develop, whatever they want to talk about, it is that sacred space to talk about their innermost feelings, and we work to build that rapport with our clients so they feel comfortable, so they will open up about their feelings and work on whatever they would like to, or grow in whatever emotional area they'd like to. So we provide that sacred space for them.
Well, the Detroit classic Tubbys Subs has opened up a new location in Sterling Heights. This new store is located along Metro Parkway east of DeQuinder, in front of Target and Lowe's, and shares a strip mall with the Great Clips Hair Salon. You can also get a hot sub with steak, burger, or chicken, as well as deli style. This Tubbys is more than meets the eye, though. It also offers products by the Just Baked line of baked goods. The Tubbys brand is nearing its 50th anniversary, and CEO Robert Peganis is gladly moving the brand in a more progressive direction.
I'm the CEO of Tubbys. I've been with Tubbys since 1968. Tubbys was started by my family. Our first store was in St. Clair Shores. We'll be celebrating our 50th year in 2018. And we're introducing our Just Baked line in this store and 2 other locations that we have around town. We're proud as a company to have our kind of like a rebranding of the brand because we're almost 50 years old. So this is kind of like the new Tubbys. So we're able to kind of take the Just Baked, which basically incorporates a something baked. It could be a cupcake, it could be bread, it could be other items or what have you. Who doesn't like a cupcake, or who doesn't like something for a dessert item? So it kind of balances us out and allowing us to have some other things that we can offer to our customers as a benefit or a bonus.
For all those art fans out there who make the drive downtown, the DIA is returning the favor. This museum on wheels travels around the Tri-County areas promoting its art and gives patrons a different perspective on individual creativity. The art and hands-on activities within the trailer are all geared towards inspiring others to use art to express themselves in many different ways. DIA studio assistant Gail Borowski explains what this mobile trailer is all about.
So this is the DIA Away trailer, and this is our way of helping the community stay in contact with the Detroit Institute of Arts, but also to explore their creativity. So it's a museum on wheels. We come out to different community events and talk to people about their being creative, but also to look at other people using creativity in their lives. It's a promotion for the museum. It's our way to pay back the community and say thank you, and also to look at art and creativity in a different way, and how a teacher, a welder, a chef, as well as an artist can be creative in their lives. We bring the trailer out year-round. It books up pretty quickly. It's a free thing that we offer to Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties. We come not just to art fairs, but to an event like this at the library. We'll go to the pumpkin festivals. We go to Arts Beats and Eats in Royal Oak. Different community events that call us out.
That's going to wrap up this edition of Sterling Report. Later on this month, SHTV cameras will once again record a mock trial sponsored by the Macomb County Bar Foundation. This one will focus on the JFK assassination and will be held at the Macomb Center for Performing Arts on November 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. We hope you come out to participate as a juror in this interesting event. We will also broadcast it at a later date. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.